Welcome to Not That Different, an initiative by Bookosmia, where we spotlight young autistic talent. And today we are delighted to spotlight the multi-talented Sarvagya, who's all of 9. Sarvagya has dabbled in print modeling and playing the keyboard, among other things, but he found his true calling in art. His book, Sarvagya Ki Hanuman Chalisa, published by Bookosmia, has won many hearts and praise from diverse quarters like the Chief Minister of Delhi and the Indian Army. And we are very happy to have with us today Sarvagya's mother, Shivani Lohia. Shivani is a chartered accountant by profession, and she's also a mother on a mission to nurture Sarvagya's talent and help him achieve greater heights. She's also somebody who started an organization called Autism Financial Planning, which basically helps people understand different aspects of planning finances for autism. And besides running an NGO, she's also an avid blogger. Welcome to the show, Shivani.
Thank you so much, and for giving me this opportunity. So let us start.
Yeah. So, this is this thing that I wanted to ask you, right? See, Sarvagya is all of 9, and he was diagnosed with autism in his early childhood, right? And from the time that he was diagnosed with autism in his early childhood, there was also this extended periods of 2 years of pandemic that was thrown in between, right?
Yes.
But today, he's a published author. He's an artist who's illustrated this lovely book, which is published and, which has won him a lot of accolades. So that must have been quite an adventurous journey. So can you, shed some light on that journey?
Yeah, I would begin by saying this pandemic actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise for Sarvagya and me. Sarvagya, as you said, he's 9 years old. He's pursuing his formal education from NIOS. And our journey started when he got diagnosed at the age of 3. And he was diagnosed with autism. And at that time, he was struggling with almost all the issues that are related to autism. Like he didn't have any eye contact, hardly he was talking, and a lot of hyperactivity and superly obsessed with fans and round objects. He could look at the fans, with continuously for hours. And so when he got diagnosed, so all the therapies we started immediately, like OT, speech, and everything. And over a period of 2.5 years, which is before COVID, almost 2.5 years, we took all the therapies, but somehow things were not working, despite having the best of therapists, despite putting in all the effort, there was something which was missing. I was trying to search that what is there, why is it not working for him? And then during this period, he was also enrolled in a mainstream school, but then we had to keep changing the schools. So during that period, I think we changed 3 schools. He was not getting settled anywhere. So, and when this COVID came and the first lockdown happened, I was really worried because I really didn't know what to do with him. He was not taking instructions. He was not talking. I really wanted to help him out because the whole day he was sitting under the fan, lying down on the floor and looking at the fan, literally. So it was a very, a very disturbing sight for me. So I really wanted to help him and I didn't know what to do. And online therapies also didn't work for us. We tried, and because he was very hyperactive, he didn't, he never used to sit for the in front of the screen. He just used to run away. So then I just thought, just to distract him from the fan. How it started was I wanted to just distract him from the fan. So I started sitting with a whiteboard and, different colored markers. And I knew he will not listen to me. He will not take instruction. I just used to sit and scribble. And okay, I used to make I made a small tree and I said, oh, wow, kitna sundar tree, loudly so as to distract him.
Grab his attention,
I kept on
basically, yeah.
For so many days and randomly, because even I didn't know what I was doing, honestly. I was also, just trying to figure out, doing all kind of fits and tries. Kabhi clock bana diya, kabhi kuch bana diya, and I used to say very loud, wow, kitni sundar clock, wow, kitni sundar tree. So after a few days, he also started picking up the pen and he was scribbling. It was meaningless scribbling at that point of time because he had very poor motor skills. He could not grip the pencil. He could not hold the pencil properly at that time. So for me, I was happy that at least for some time he was not looking at the fan and he was trying to scribble something. So this continued, and then I realized after a few days he was drawing small circles, small lines, and he started drawing fans. He was, because he till date he's very obsessed with fans. He loves to look at fans and draw fans. He started drawing fans. So that is when I realized that okay, maybe he can draw. Maybe I can help him out with this. He's interested in this. Then during, because we had the whole day to us.
Yes.
At that time, there was a
Nothing to
complete
do.
lockdown. So I made a schedule that every day in the afternoon, without fail, I had to sit with him and narrate a short story. So I had shortlisted 4-5 stories. There were only very couple of stories because I was not sure if he will understand how much he's understanding. I used to narrate that story, and then we used to, search from Google some very easy pictures of those characters. For example, I remember, I don't know how many times I had narrated that Thirsty Crow story to him. And we used to search those different pictures of crows, and I used to, give him a dotted picture and he used to trace it.
Yeah.
So this continued for, I don't know how many months we kept on doing this. Without fail, I was doing it every day. And probably that consistency,
Yes,
it worked for me. Because after a few months, I realized that he no more needed those dots. Although still it was very poor, what he was making were very, small scribblings, but he was confident. He didn't allow me to give him the dotted. Even if I used to make that, he used to rub it. That no, I want to make it on my own. So he had become confident, and there was a significant improvement in his this motor skills also, because we were doing it every day, and it was like a half an hour, 40-minute session. So then I realized that maybe what he needed was a consistent and one-to-one attention and lot of practice. So he could hold the pencil very nicely now. He also started using colors, pencil colors, and crayons. And during this period, he became very confident. There was a point of time about, I think maybe 5 months, 6 months down the line when I started this, he became so confident. You ask him to draw something, it was not a masterpiece what he was making, but he could draw. Even if you ask him to draw a bird, you ask him to draw a bus or anything, he was able to draw it. So it was not as if he was drawing very beautiful pictures, but the best part was he could, relate that if I'm saying bus, he could recall what is a bus, and he could, draw it on a paper. So
and that's quite
I
a
realized
skill,
that,
right? See, asking them to copy from an image of a bus is one thing, but then, for a child who's had motor difficulties, right, to perceive in his head, an image of a bus, and then,
yes,
have enough focus and coordination to actually try and replicate that on paper, I think that's
yes,
quite an improvement.
that
Yeah.
is the point when I realized that maybe this is the strength. And because when he was drawing without looking at the pictures, without looking, at any other source, and he could, at times he used to ask him, okay, meri picture draw kar do. So it was very difficult. I still remember he made a square and he made something in it and wrote Papa and your mama. So it was like, okay, he understands. At least
That's what
he
you
made
want.
something.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted from
Yeah.
him, that he understands what I am asking him to do. So
Yes.
that became turning point, that exercise of stories and making those pictures. And I strongly believe that that consistent activity over a period of so many months, it helped us to brush up his motor skills, which otherwise was not happening despite so much therapy and so much hard work. But this worked because it was playful, it was enjoyable, not in a that formal setup with an
Exactly.
unknown person. So
That
I
that
feel he
makes
was,
it can even make a very enjoyable activity very pressurizing.
yeah.
If you're saying now you have 40 minutes, this 40 minutes you have to sit, now you have to draw it, and you have to sit quiet, don't move, look at this and draw. I mean, it's
So
like
even for us, even for elders, it becomes so boring if you're doing the
yeah,
same thing in that same setup
right.
every day, sitting on the same chair, with the same person. So I felt he started enjoying, he was enjoying that activity, and he also started gaining confidence at that time. This is what I realized, because it was a kind of sense of achievement that he was getting. He was very keen on drawing. He used to keep drawing throughout the day. Even in my kitchen, I had high glossy tiles, and he used to sit there and draw something. The whole day I was cleaning it, and whole day he was.
Yeah.
So, but I was happy cleaning it, honestly.
Yeah, because he's exploring, right? And his skills are improving in
Yeah.
the process. What else would you need?
At least I was more happy that he was not looking at the fans and he was trying to
Yeah,
different things. Because the
right,
fan
right.
had become a very, chronic problem for us. So during this period, I also introduced writing. because now he had started holding the pencil and he was doing it very beautifully. So I was very confident कि ये हो जाएगा. And then I introduced writing. During this period, I also introduced him. I started from the basic level, English, Hindi, mathematics, and surprisingly, he picked them up.
Yes.
Probably because we were doing 15, then 11 to 11:15, that kind of schedule I had.
Short
And I stuck.
Yeah.
Very short, but I stuck to that schedule. And over a period of time, even he had understood, okay, this is the study time. 15 minutes we'll study, then we will have masti, then we will have food, then I'll sleep. That kind of
structure, basically.
So, yeah, that consistency worked for us. And he picked up writing so beautifully. If you can see in the book, I have the book here. Even this title is in his handwriting. And there are dohas also. If you had seen, let me show you here. See these dohas and the meanings, they are in his handwriting. So this was a distant, I couldn't ever, imagine in my dreams he would be like writing like this.
I mean,
So
I was mentioning to you, Shivani, see the script of Hindi, the Devanagari script, can be a little challenging for a lot of people to pick up. I mean, not just somebody who's had fine motor difficulties, not just somebody who's had motor coordination difficulties, right? Even neurotypical children struggle, to pick up the Devanagari script.
Yes,
very different.
That's
and when I first saw, the handwriting, Sarvagya's handwriting, I was literally like, oh my God, this is so neat. It looks like it's printed. So it's amazing, I think,
Yeah, he has a very beautiful handwriting. So though he has become very naughty now, he doesn't want to write, creates all types of throws tantrums. But otherwise, he has a very neat handwriting, both in English and he's very good in cursive writing also. So then I introduced this writing. Then during this period, because he had started interacting with me, he was very connected with me at that period. So I was very keen that he should know, about the various things of life, including our Hindu religion, because we are Hindus. At least you should know about little bit about your religion, about the gods that we worship. We had a small temple in the house. So who are these images or these idols? You should know about them. So what I did, that on every festival, I started sitting with him and we used to draw that picture of the particular god related to that festival. For example, if it was a Krishna Janmashtami, then he used to draw Krishna ji. If it was Hanuman Jayanti, drawing Hanuman ji. So again, we use those online resources because I'm not an artist, so I don't know how to do that. I had to take a lot of help from people. But there, so many websites. During that period, I discovered so many websites, wonderful websites, which you can use as a resource to learn this kind of drawings from the the starting point. So they became very handy for us. So we used to search. I used to tell him, okay, aaj to Krishna ji ka birthday, aaj to Krishna ji banane hai. So we let us search on. So during that period, he had also learned how to search. Google, so he used to search. So which one he liked, take a screenshot. We used to, and he was taking instructions so nicely at that time because maybe that confidence had increased. He was motivated. Maybe that
I
kind
think
of
we see value in what he's doing. This is something that he enjoys doing, right? And if we can see value, and then I think associating it with these little tales, like when I think back about it, right, with a lot of our autistic children, we assume that the communication in a sense is also often one way, right? So how many of us do those very basic things that we would be doing with a neurotypical child, right? We celebrate a festival at home. It's very natural for us to, for that neurotypical child to ask us, what is this? Even if the child doesn't ask, we want to pass on our values to the children. That's the only way they learn. So we tell them the story voluntarily. But, when it's an autistic child and as a parent, you yourselves are in a frame of mind where you are confused, can this child understand or can this child not understand? Exactly. How many of us actually take the time off to do the same thing with an autistic child, right?
Actually, I think it's because we are so occupied. Even on the festival days, we want to go to the therapy. We want to complete all the schedules. So what is needed is lost. What is the real need of life is lost in this vicious cycle. I call it vicious cycle of therapies,
Yes, I mean, therapies are important in their place, but at the end of the day, you're raising a human child, right? I mean, you're not raising a machine, that, it's one therapy after another therapy after another.
Exactly. You cannot go for therapy throughout the life. No? There are many other things that we have to do, and there is a period, there is a stage of learning everything. So it is very important to balance these things. Therapies are okay, but then you have to take care of other things also.
Yes.
So during that period, we made whole lot of pictures. I think some of them I have shared with you of Shivji,
Krishna was so
Hanumanji, and Krishna.
beautiful. I mean, it is some of them. Yeah, we'll be putting it up on the video for for our audience to see. Very beautiful images.
Right.
Yeah.
So, last year we realized that for the first time on almost all the major festivals, he could relate. Okay,
Yes.
Holi hai, to aaj to mujhe colors se khelna hai. Aaj mujhe water se khelna hai. Diwali hai. So he actually wanted to, he actually wanted to light the diyas. He didn't sit for the puja as such. It's a long puja, but then he could understand why people are coming. Why are we going there? What is happening? To some extent, he was able to relate that what was happening. So I feel maybe this year he'll be able to completely understand the concept of religion, the concept of festivals. So that is how this whole thing started, this fascination with Hindu gods and goddesses and making their pictures.
Yes.
So that is how it started. And as of now, he is so confident in his drawings that I would not say he creates masterpieces. You must have seen there are a lot of flaws, there are a lot of, things
He's a
which need to be
9-year-old. No,
corrected.
he's not
But
an adult artist.
he's
I think it
9 years
is
old,
very
and
nice
he's
for a 9-year-old.
yeah, but he is confident that he can draw anything. But he says, क्या बनाना है बताओ. So it's like that. नहीं पता तो उसको he knows कि मैं Google पे search कर सकता हूँ and I'll select and I can copy it and then I can color it on my own. So that is which I feel has been a major achievement for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Other than that, few things that I felt which helped us reach this milestone was, there was one more thing before this COVID, because the whole day went away in the school and then going for therapies. There was hardly any time, a family time, He was a small child, but he was not getting time with the family. The whole day he was going in therapy. After school, we're directly going for therapy. Then he had special education. Then he had sports. So he was not connected somehow. And by the end of the day, he was tired. I was also tired. So pandemic gave us the opportunity to blend as a family. That is when he got connected to us, to his father, to his brother, and even to me, because when we used to go for therapy, both of us were so tired. There was hardly any communication. I was also tired. The opportunity of spending family time, and of meeting up with your family members. One more thing happened, because everything was online. So my elder, we had a small room, so he used to do his classes there. My husband was doing his office from there. So some kind of environment was created that, okay, this time to this time is working time. So Bhaiya is working, Papa is working. So I also have to sit. There is nobody who's roaming around. There's nobody who's talking. Everybody is working. So I think that thing played a very major role in increasing the sitting tolerance, this taking instructions, understanding. I think this environment played a very major role in Sarvagya's development. He learned English, basics, English, phonics, Hindi. That is when he developed all the skills, and he did it so far. Once we reached a particular level, the growth became so fast. It was unbelievable that this child who was once labeled as very highly autistic won't be able to he won't be able to maybe go beyond a certain level in formal education. So it was unbelievable for us, and I realized maybe they need encouragement, and we need to be to think out of the box. We need to be very positive. We need to give a very positive attitude, give positive vibes, so things do work, and every child can learn. So this has been the journey. So this is how we got a lot of pictures, and then I thought of and I also made him write these dohas and the meanings of those dohas. So that is how the idea came that, okay, why not compile it in the form of a book. One more incident I want to tell you that I usually share it with so many people. You say that art is a therapy. It actually is. When I got the first painting framed, and I got the first lot framed, and I showed him the first painting, he was speechless, literally speechless in the sense he didn't react for a few seconds, and I didn't understand कि इसको क्या हुआ है. And I think the next 3-4 days, he was just sitting with them like this on the couch with his eyes closed. I think he was not able to understand what was happening, but I could feel that maybe it was sinking in that this is my work,
Yes.
this I have a kind of sense of achievement that I can do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I think every child needs that, because I saw, after that, it so happened for every, even if he scribbled something, he wanted to be framed. Mama, you framed. So, but then I felt that maybe he also wanted to, flaunt that, okay, this is my work, I have done it. So art is a therapy. It worked as a therapy for us.
Yes.
And this was the, so now as of now, he's pursuing an iOS. And I've also introduced him to mandala art. That will take a long time. It's a long process,
Very
but I'm
fine lines.
confident
And,
over a period of years he will be.
Mhm.
Yes. He is very good and he's doing quite well in MS Paint. I've shared a video also with you. And sketchbook software, he is still exploring. So let us see. I think he'll take some time, but he's doing well now.
Good.
Much better. There are a lot of issues still unresolved. We are still working on them, but I'm sure that
Yeah, I mean,
if we
it's a
work
matter of time, right?
consistently,
Yeah. See, the autism is not going to go away. And this is what, we kind of, a lot of forums, even when I'm talking about, my daughter, the question always is, well, she's come so far. So does that mean the autism is gone? The autism doesn't go. Right. I mean, it is here to stay. It's there to stay with them for the rest of their lives. But as they are growing up, yes, it's a part of their being. It'll stay. Just like, I have, I don't know, I'm tall and I have a broad forehead, and that's going to stay for the rest of my life. The fact that a person is autistic is going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. But what helps is when you build on their strengths, when you build on their skills, and, you help them build an identity for themselves, right? It makes them so much more fulfilled and so much more happy as people, especially growing into adolescence and growing into adulthood, when I think their own awareness of how different they are as compared to the majority of people around them also increases with age, right? So what is the grounding factor for them? What is the factor, for them to feel good about themselves? If we can identify where their strengths are and build on it, they have that to feel good about themselves. As and when, obviously with time, the realization that they are different is also going to come, but the realization that, hey, I may be different, but then I'm also good at all of these things, is going to make a lot of difference, I think,
I'm
in
no
their
less.
mind
Basically,
space.
I'm
Yes.
no less than anybody. I
Yes.
may be an autistic person. I may have this, but then, I think as of today, there is nobody in the world who doesn't have any underlying condition.
That's
People
true.
have, chronic problems. So, okay, this is also a part of the life so far as you're able to manage it confidently and, learn the life skills. It's okay.
Yes.
It's going to be there. Let us accept it completely. Otherwise, that struggle that goes on inside will not help you grow. So it's better to accept it quickly and work on their strength and then think positive. And a time comes, every child can learn.
Absolutely, yes. Every child has the ability to learn. I think, what the
Yes.
child is going to learn and how, more importantly, how the child is going to learn is what makes a difference, right? And I think that is what makes a difference. That is an understanding for many parents out there who insist that mainstream is is always the right choice for my child, period, right? I mean, as much as we wish mainstream accommodated children, all diverse children, I mean, our country is what it is, our education system is what it is. And, more often than not, it is not equipped to handle children with varying levels of diversity, especially if the diversity is a little more than, what is like, I don't know, the accepted norm or whatever, the average.
Add a point over here. What I have realized that, we are obsessed. We parents are naturally obsessed with sending our children to, the mainstream schools with, which are those high society school. I'm saying high society. I'm not able to recall that word which I
Fancy
wanted to
schools
say.
or famous
Those very
schools or,
fancy
yeah,
schools, yeah.
whatever.
But we don't realize that, see, you are sending them, but is he really learning over there?
Exactly.
That is what will matter. The brand name will not matter over a period of time. When the child will grow up, what will matter is what he has learned. Nobody is going to ask him, you went to which school.
Right.
How much he has learned, how much he has grown. So there's a taboo around sending your child to a special school. Even I had that. But then after changing 4, 5 schools, I realized it's no point. I'm wasting so much of time, money, efforts. Child is not learning. What is the point of sending him to this, illustrious school? Let us send him to a place which fulfills his needs.
Yes.
who are able to understand what exactly he wants and where he learns. So that is when I enrolled him in a special school, and I realized that this is what he needed.
Yes.
So that school is as good as a normal mainstream school with NIOS, where all other things are being taken care of. So now he has those areas which I was not able to cover, like socialization, making friends, and traveling alone in the school cab. These are so
Very
important
important, vital skills
things
actually.
that a child should learn. So now he is getting exposed to those. So I am really thankful to God. I could come out of that taboo of sending him to a regular mainstream school, and I enrolled him there. So I always urge the parents that please do not run after mainstream school. The child settles there. It's very, very good. But if he's not, please do not get into that side, that, social pressure of sending your child to a big school, a big brand name, if he is not learning anything. Send him to a place where he will learn. Nobody will ask you about the brand name, which school he went. What is more important is the real learning.
Yes. I mean, what is it that he's got out of that, right? I mean, you're not just wasting the child's time, you're basically putting the child through a pressure cooker situation. For what?
Yes,
What are
yes.
you getting at the end of it? Nothing. So yeah, I mean,
Nothing.
I think it's a journey for many parents, but hopefully most of them get there so that I know they do what's right by their child. So we have Sarvagya Ki Hanuman Chalisa. What's next for Sarvagya, the author?
Sarvagya, as I said, he's learning mandala art, and he's also exploring sketchbook software, and he's a good skater. I won't say excellent skater, he's still learning, but he enjoys skating, and we are trying to develop some life skills also, like cooking and washing the clothes, keeping the house tidy. Other than that, we have started another book. We are trying to do some work. We have just started actually. So, which is basically an extension of the first book.
Okay.
It will be an extension because he is still into making various pictures of Hindu gods and goddesses. So I'm just trying to figure out how to, bring it out. Hopefully by the end of this year, we should be able to launch it.
Oh, good. Very good. And here's wishing him all the best, because see, the one thing that stood out in his book for me is it's taken a concept like the Hanuman Chalisa, which can actually be something very complex, right? Either it's something very abstract. You see a picture of Hanuman in your, in your puja in your house, and then people chanting something, and most young kids can't relate to it, right? But then he's taken something like that and put it in a format that is so colorful, so visually attractive that, little children can read it and actually relate to it, I suppose, right? Rather than us telling them abstract story about some god, I think it's it's in a format that is, far more easy for a young child to, kind of consume, right? So,
how did it happen for us? Because Hanumanji is related to a lot of festivals.
yes.
So on every festival, it happened to be Hanumanji was somehow there. And even I have tried it. Even if you scribble a small face of Hanumanji, it oozes out power. He's said to be the original superhero. So children are so fascinated because we used to watch together these cartoons and including these Chota Bheem, Hanumanji, Tales of Hanuman, that kind of thing. And in our family, we observe Tuesday fast. My husband has been doing that for years. So maybe that was also one thing which got him connected, because Hanumanji was there every week.
Yes.
On Tuesday he was there, then on festival he was there. So probably that was also one we were watching his, those movies of Hanumanji. So probably that is one thing which made him fascinated, and he was, so he felt connected. So I had so many pictures, mainly Hanumanji that I had. So that is how we ended up making this book.
Yeah, and which I'm sure a lot of little kids, besides, of course, adults, I mean, it's earned praise from a lot of quarters, right? The Chief Minister of Delhi and the army.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of young kids also, enjoyed reading it. So
Yeah, the book was very, very well received by, everyone. And I mean, he got a appreciation letter from the Chief Minister of Delhi and from the Indian Army, which was a major booster.
Yes.
I don't know how far he has understood. He does look at his book and he realizes that these are my drawings, this is my handwriting. I don't know how he understands as of now. He's just 9. That okay,
Yeah,
what a
he's
big
a kid.
achievement
I mean,
it
he's
is.
obviously not going to.
Maybe
Yeah.
over the period of years when he grows up, it will serve as a major motivating factor for him that, okay,
Yes.
this is my book. This is something which I have created.
Yes. It's amazing. So here's wishing Sarvagya all the very best for the upcoming book
Thank
and for all the skills that he's trying to, learn. Like you said, skating, keyboard playing, there's like so much, right? I mean, he's 9. There's the entire world out there for him to explore. Just wishing him all
and
the
in
best.
the note, can I say something for the
Yeah, sure.
parents? I always say this, what this is, I'm not giving any lecture. It's something which I've learned from my own experience, that our children, what a parent can do, no one else can do. That is what I've realized.
Yes.
Doctors and therapists have their own roles, no matter how good they are, but you know your child inside out.
Absolutely.
So there is a period, there is a phase of disappointment, of depression, when you feel bad, that why me? It happens with everybody, but it is so important to, come out of it quickly accept it, and be very positive. What I realized, by just sulking throughout the day and just thinking, why me? Why? It was not, nothing was happening.
Yes.
When you start thinking positively and start focusing on your strength, at least something happens.
No, something
नेगेटिव सोचोगे तो
oftentimes
कुछ
very nice things
पॉजिटिव
happen.
सोचोगे
Yeah.
तो शायद कुछ होगा,
Yeah.
है ना?
Yeah.
सो मुझे लगता है कि आई ऑलवेज से कि उसको जल्दी से एक्सेप्ट करो एंड जस्ट मूव ऑन क्विकली. डोंट वेस्ट योर टाइम, डोंट वेस्ट योर
Yeah,
चाइल्ड्स टाइम,
it's
एंड
not
यू
going to
कैन
change.
डू
The sulking is
एवरीथिंग.
not going to change anything, right? So
Yeah,
what's the
it's
point?
not helping. अगर उससे कुछ होता होता तो we would have sulked
Yeah, all of
endlessly,
us would have been experts
it
at
will not
sulking.
help. So I realized that, and secondly, consistency has, consistency plays a very major role, whether it is writing, whether it is practicing any skill, whether it is academics, drawing, anything. So I think consistency, along with the hard work and a positive approach, I don't think there is anything a child can't do.
Absolutely.
So that is on the ending. I really wanted to share this. This has been my experience with Sarvagya, through our journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do with this, Shivani. There's like amazing takeouts from this
Thank
for
you
our
for the
parents.
opportunity.
And thank you for doing this. Bye.